What's going on, YouTube? I'm just gonna make this really quick. All right, I go to Twitter today. And you guys know, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I don't tweet that much. All right, I have it for information. Right, I don't really even think it's that entertaining anymore. I just go there for information. Why? A lot of boxing news breaks on Twitter first. Okay, and also I like to be in tune with how the fans feel. All right, I want to know what they're feeling about fighters and fights, because it makes me think a little bit more when I see the reaction of boxing fans. It makes me know how fans are looking at certain fights and certain fighters. So I just want to stay in tune. So that's what Twitter is there for. I don't go on there every day. Sometimes I'll go days, and sometimes I'll go over a week without even tweeting anything. You know what I mean? But I'm on there for those reasons, right? So I'm on Twitter today, and I see that Ryan Garcia tweeting that he's going into a different direction, right? And I pulled it up right here. Ryan Garcia, we know he's been posting stuff on Floyd Mayweather, and I'll get to Floyd in 1 second. But Ryan Garcia goes today, notified by my team, I'm going in a different direction, different route. My intent now is to fight Rolando Romero. I pray my team backs me on this decision. Oscar, make this fight happen. So he's asking Oscar to make the fight happen. At least this is what he's tweeting. That's the move. Bigger fight, bigger business, right? Bigger fight, bigger business. He's talking about Rolly Romero. Bigger fight, bigger business. Why? I don't know. I don't know how it's a bigger fight. I don't know how it's a bigger business. I don't know. All right. But that's what he's tweeting. And then he says after that, after what happens to Rollies, the death fight will be there and even bigger. Everyone critiquing now will end up seeing it was a better move. Plus, he can go fight Richardson Hitchens, go and do your 30K pay-per-view buys. I don't need Dev. You need me. All right, this is what he's all saying today. Go check it. It's still up. But when you go back a few weeks ago, which is what I did, because I started reading a few tweets, and I'm like confused because I don't know what's going on, because I'm reading tweets and people are acting as if Devin is out of line today. I'm trying to figure it out, So I'll go a few weeks back. I'll go back to the December 9th. He's going through this whole period like where he's trying to decide, should he get Rolly, should he get Devin Haney? Go here, and I see this tweet here on December 9th. One thing is certain in my eyes is that Haney and I will fight in 2024. You can hold me to it unless it's not in the God's will. This is what he said on the 9th. All right. I guess this is the night of the Regis Prograis fight. We already know Devin Haney looked phenomenal that fight. One of the better performances of the year. So Ryan continues, Devin Haney is good. It's due time, I will beat him, paraphrasing, just breezing through these tweets. So Ryan says on the 16th of last month that he goes in about Devin Haney is coming in over 160 for a 140 fight. Haney responds to him. Then Ryan does a poll basically showing that the fans have voted for him to fight Devin Haney first and over Rolly. And then Ryan goes and says, I've advised my team to contact Team Haney to discuss and make the fight happen between Devin and I. This is what Ryan said on the 19th. And then he says again on the 19th, the ball is in your court, Devin. And I've made my move. And I'm showing you and the boxing community that I'm committed to this fight. And he hashtags Garcia Haney, right? This is on the 19th. Few days before Christmas. All right, so he goes back 28th. Sorry, Rollies, you and your team work way too slow. You were way too indecisive. I didn't know if you wanted to box or vacation. Devin Haney and I are in negotiations. Respect that. I'm not entertaining anything. Thanks. This is what Ryan has been tweeting in the upcoming weeks leading to today. So I go on Twitter and I'm checking Twitter and I'm trying to understand. Garcia said he's going in a different direction, which is fine. You ducked. It's a duck, but it's fine. Because it's a clear duck. You mean you're doing all this tweeting, and now you're saying that you're moving forward from the Haney fight, which is okay. It's on you. I personally didn't ever think the fight was going to happen because Haney is coming off one of his best career wins, and you're coming off a not so good performance. I mean, you're coming off two not so good performances because Tank stopped you, and I already forgot your last opponent's name, right? But you won, but it wasn't really a good performance. It was a weird performance because we seen a bunch of weirdness going on in that fight with you. But it's probably because you're just trying to try things out, which is fine, right? Cool, all fair. But you go into this 30K pay-per-view thing, right? And then now you got all of these people online talking about how Rolly's a bigger fight and now Devin Haney is not selling any pay-per-views. You know, and it's like, look, man, a lot of these guys are not selling pay-per-views, period. But what pay-per-views have Ryan sold outside of the Tank fight? Because you take Tank's, you took, a lot of people claim that Tank only did well in the Ryan fight because of Ryan. But I'm trying to see what Ryan has done pay-per-view wise outside of Tank. It goes both ways. And I said this when the fight happened. But that's the difference between me and everybody else, because everybody is so extreme that they can't even be consistent here. I mean, both fighters clearly made the fight be as big as it was. I mean, they marketed the fight very well by saying it's the biggest fight in boxing. People believed it, and people bought the fight. They did well. They did even better than what Canelo's been doing recently in that one fight. You know? But Tank doesn't do all that great with pay-per-views. Ryan, I don't know what he can do with pay-per-views. We don't know. He's only had one pay-per-view with Tank Davis. So I'm trying to understand, and I know Devin's pay-per-views hasn't been that great, but the quality of the fights were really good. Like, he did a pay-per-view with Lomachenko. The pay-per-view wasn't that great, but he fought Lomachenko. They went on to fight Regis Prograis, moved up and fought him. Quality fights. Much more than what Ryan is doing. Much more than Ryan. You know, T.O. and Devin is giving us quality fights. I don't understand why the low pay-per-view numbers are being brought up today. What did Rolly do outside of fighting Tank on a pay-per-view? Did those numbers do well? How is bigger business coming with Rolly Romero over Devin Haney? Is it really bigger business? Because that's what he's saying. Ryan has been doing all this calling out. You're next. I'm going to fight you this year. I want you next. Rolly is being indecisive. You hang out with Floyd for a couple days. You know, there's posts on social media. We already know that's about. Ryan dislikes Oscar De La Hoya, and he signed with him. And Floyd dislikes Oscar De La Hoya. And we already know there's a rivalry there between those two. They always throw little shots at each other. So that's what Floyd does. Floyd is tricky like that. You know, he does things, he says things, he tweets things, or he posts things on social media. He does to get under everybody else's skin. One week he'll be with Devin Haney. The next week he's with Tank. The next week he's with Ryan. Floyd does what he wants to do. People are reading in too much of it. I'm sure that way that Floyd might have had some influence on why we're not getting Devin Haney. But is Oscar making any decisions on this? I don't think so. I don't even think that Ryan communicates with Oscar. If he did, why is he going on Twitter saying Oscar make this fight? Clearly, there's some problems there, because we saw that in the press conference in the last fight that he had, where he was calling out Oscar and calling out Bernard Hopkins off some comments that they made. So why are people acting like they don't see any of this shit? Why are people ignoring it? How did this whole thing with Ryan Garcia tweeting about Devin? Why are people making this about Devin's low pay-per-view numbers? Do you guys care about quality fights, or do you guys care about pay-per-view numbers? I know that this is a business, but who, if any of these fighters, what are any of them doing right now with pay-per-views? Because only at 135, the only successful pay-per-view that I've seen is with Tank and Ryan. Nothing else. And I'm talking about with Tank and Ryan. Like, was Ryan's last fight, was that a sold out arena? I know as far as the money is concerned, he didn't do better than what Prograis and Devin Haney did. Or Haney and Loma did. You know, I mean, I've seen it on TV. You can't tell me that Ryan Garcia fight was bigger than any recent Devin Haney fight. So, what are we talking about here? I know a lot of you don't like Devin Haney, and I know why. But Devin Haney has been given, he went from being your email champion to beating the man that beat the man that beat the man, which is George Kambosos. He beat that guy twice. Agreed to the terms and everything. Flew out there, didn't have his dad, went out there, did what he had to do. I know you're mad. A lot of you are mad because you felt that Lomachenko won the fight. If you think Loma won the fight, fine. But the fight was clearly a close fight. It wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. You can't say I gave it to Lomachenko 7-5 and then say it's a robbery. It's not a robbery. Haney got the official win. Goes on, moves on to fight Prograis, beats him, knock him down, shuts him out at a new division. Regardless of what he weighed in at, you guys are making it about everything else but what he's doing. He's giving us consistent quality. He fought Prograis and Loma this year. What did Ryan do this year? What did Tank do this year? What did Loma do this year? What did anybody else at 135? Did anybody else at 135 have a better year than Devin Haney? And on top of that, you guys are talking about pay-per-view numbers. Devin's getting paid. You talking about pay-per-view numbers when Ryan is the one on Twitter calling him out. If Ryan thinks Devin, if he thinks so low of Devin Haney, why are you calling him out? Why are you bringing up his low pay-per-view number? Why are you telling him go off and fight Richardson Hitches? Why don't you fight him? Because that would probably, outside of Tank, would be your best fight. I remember the guy he fought last. I already forgot about him. And you guys are the same age, and you guys came in at the same time. Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, same ages. Shakur Stevenson, you guys are around the same class. And Ryan is far behind those guys. And I've said this before, and it's okay. But you guys are making it seem as Devin Haney is beneath him, and he's in the wrong for his reaction on Twitter. Guess he called him something, right? He said, don't even say my name. Yeah, don't say my name because you wasted time building up something that's not going to turn into anything. Now you're not going to fight me. Don't say my name. What's wrong with that? Twitter is a weird space, and I know that already, but I go there to know and be aware of what's going on. I like to see exactly what's going on. And I know what's going on. I'm very, very aware of what's going on. But this kid is clearly doing a lot better than everybody else, and people still have a problem. And I'm calling you guys out on it. I mean, what is he doing wrong here? How can you even defend Ryan? Ryan never thought Ryan was going to fight Devin Haney next. Never thought it was going to happen. But Ryan is on the internet doing all the talking. Just to backpedal at the last minute. Like he's done before. I mean, the guy freaking retired. He took a mental health break. He's been in and out of the game for the last few years. He didn't even make weight. You guys are talking about him coming out over 160 in the fight night. Ryan has not even made 140. He couldn't even make 140 in his last fight. Why don't you show that you're dedicated enough to make the weight? You know, can you even make the weight? I'm not even sure. This is crazy. Like, he's a good fighter, but you guys are giving him so many passes. I mean, like, if Devin or Tank or any other fighter fought the guys he fought right now, you guys wouldn't hear the end of it. But Ryan came in just like with those guys. Not Tank, but Tio and Devin. And look how much they've done. Anyway, I'm out of here. It's just crazy. But I had to say something.